Attention viewers, this video has chapters. Please use the chapters if you already know things or just want to skip around the video. This will be a long guide, alright? Cool, thanks. Okay, quick disclaimer about how this video is going to be structured. We're going to be using text a lot still. I'll be doing voiceovers to explain stuff faster, but when you're reading the guide, just know that text will be the most accurate thing on screen because it's edited last. So trust the text over literally everything else. And if there's something that I don't mention in the voice recording that's mentioned in text, you'll hear a ding sound. I'll play it right now. So keep that in mind. Second disclaimer, I am not doing tag throws this game. Just so you know, I am not doing tag throws. That'll be a separate video. Extra disclaimer, this video guide will mainly be covering Tekken Tag 1's PlayStation 2 version, but some random factoids might be added in from the arcade version if I think they're funny enough. Extra disclaimer, most throws have two names at least. One for the Japanese version of the game, which is what the original is, and the internationalized version. And the localized one, usually used in international releases. Typically, I'll just use whichever one I like more, whichever one that just appears in my mood list. For this video, I mainly got my information from the Tekken Wiki fandom and the Waifu Wiki, whenever applicable. If my information is wrong, please tell me in the comments. And I have tested some of these things more than the Wiki did because some of the information on the Wiki is incorrect. I probably won't say in all cases where the Wiki is incorrect, but just know that I definitely hard tested some of this stuff. Firstly, we're going to show the controls of the game. It'll be up on screen right now. Get used to these, because trust me, it'll be important. Now we're on the color guide. Okay, so what I mean by color is I'm color coding every thing in the game. So with this color guide on screen, that should hopefully help. Lastly, on controls, I'm going to explain input priority. In Tekken, we have this thing called left punch, left kick, right kick. However, most people denote it as 1, 2, 3, 4 over here in the West. And this is what I'm going to be using for this video, so please bear with that. I have the font though to help. Kind of like how it says, that's how the input priority works. If you press all 4 buttons, you normally get key charge. However, when it comes to inputting other moves, such as a move with a 1 input, like quarter circle forward 1, to get a throw, if you press quarter circle forward 1 plus 2, you will still get that throw, because the 1 is prioritized over the 2. And it applies linearly, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, where 1 prioritizes over 2, which prioritizes over 3, which prioritizes over 4. This really only matters in chain grabs, where if you say need to press 1 plus 2 plus 4, you cannot press all 4 buttons together, because the game will try to read 3, and then it reads the 3, and goes, wait, that's incorrect, so it won't give it to you. But if you need to press 1 plus 2 plus 3, you can instead press key charge 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 with, say, a macro or something, and that will work because the game will read the 3 before the 4 and give you say the input is correct. Now, onto HP, your hit health. Unlike every other Tekken game, you have a varying amount of health depending on your character. Technically, the average health in Versus mode is 152. I have a list up on screen right now to show how much health every character has. It basically ranges from 140 to 168. Of course, as for any Tekken at this time, you can change how much health that you have in Versus mode. In this case, by 1% increments, up to an extra 50% HP. Note, however, that in this game, we have this thing called Red HP. Red HP is recoverable health. Black HP is unrecoverable, and blue HP is your current HP. When you take an attack, you must take at least 1 permanent damage, 1 black damage, but 40% of all damage you take in this game will be recoverable, and 60% is permanent. This applies to throws as well. Also, tag throws do not delete red health, but tag combos do. Next is Rage. Okay, so how this works is you have 2 characters on a team, right? And when you take enough hits, your other character will gain Rage. And how Rage works is that you get a boosted amount of damage. The amount of damage boosted, it will be displayed on screen. And how many hits it takes to get Rage depends on your team composition. This is called the Nets system. I think it's pronounced Netsu or Nets system. And every character either likes another character, is neutral towards them, or dislikes them. For example, if you have like King and Armor King, you only have to hit them 4 times to get the activate Rage for them. But for Kazuya and June, for example, you would have to hit June 10 times for Kazuya to actually get Rage. I'll probably link like a whole like page or something to show all this. Though, do note that every single punch and a tackle combo does not count as an individual throw. In text, I would explain how that works with the tackle system, because I will explain that. I forget how it works with chain grabs, but I believe it works the same way. But again, trust the text there. Next is Tech Roll. When you take a knockback attack and get knocked down in this game, you can Tech Roll it, and you will roll to the side. If you press Punch, you will roll towards the foreground. If you press Kick, you roll towards the background. It does not matter which direction you're facing, whether you're player 1 or player 2 side. You always Tech Roll towards foreground or background, so keep that in mind. Also to note with Tech Rolls, you cannot Tech Roll if you land on your belly in Tekken Tag 1. Sidestep. Up neutral will give you sidestep towards foreground, and down neutral will give you sidestep towards background. But when it comes to move tracking in general, you just have to take into account which direction you're facing, because if you're facing right, your sidestep down will be sidestep right, and if you're facing left, your sidestep up will be sidestep right. For throws, this won't matter though, because they're completely linear. Throws themselves. These are frame 12. They are unparryable for the most part, except for Anna and Ogre. They are unblockable, they are high as unduckable, and completely linear. When I say they're frame 12, this game runs at 60 frames per second, so the average throw will come out in 1/5 of a second. Breaks. For basic throws, there are 3 throw animations. The left break throw, which is pink, the right break throw, which is green, and the both arm break, which is light blue. There are other kinds of breaks, like 3+4 where you press both kicks, but these don't really have a tail. These are the only ones with a tail. Side throws. No matter what throw animation you do, or what type of grab you do from the side, you'll always get the same throw on that side. So if I grab some from the left side, it will always be a 1 break and always end up as the same kind of grab. If I grab someone from someone's right side, then it will always end up as a 2 break, and it'll always end up with that specific right side throw. And if I grab someone from behind, the throw will always be unbreakable, and you get this very powerful behind throw. I will have these abbreviated as LST, RST, and BST for simplicity from here on out. For a standard throw, they I believe have a 14 frame or 15 frame break window, so that's basically a 1/4 of a second to recognize the grab animation and break it. As for side throws, I believe they have an 8 frame break window, but don't quote me on that, it's not easy to find this information, okay? If anyone knows in the comments, please correct me and where you found the information from. Also, do note with throws, they can grab people out of hit stun and crumple states. So even if you're crumpled or getting in hit stun, you still have to take a guess on that throw. This is not that similar to other fighting games. There is also the reverse throw in the move list. This just means that when your back is turned to the opponent, you can press either of your default throw inputs, 1+3 or 2+4, to instantly turn around with a grab. It is still frame 12, and it's somewhat useful if your back is turned. Right, okay, camera angles. This is a more nebulous thing, but sometimes you will side switch and sometimes you will not side switch when you do a throw. The reason is because the camera angle dictates if you side switch or not, and that is random. However, unlike Tekken 3, in training mode, the camera angle will be shown in training mode, so there's some discrepancy. What the throws look like in this video is how they will look like in game. Tackles. Okay, so these are mid throws. I believe the only way to parry them is Ogre's unique parry, as I believe Anna's throw parry does not parry tackles at all. Tackles are, I believe, frame 26, so very reactable. They are 2 breaks and lead to a mount position where the attacker can throw left or right punches. You must either throw it as 1-2-1-2-1 or 2-1-2-1-2. Any other punch combination will not give you anything. And the break is simple. A left punch is a right break on the defender, and a right punch is a left break on the defender. Basically, think of the breaks from your character's perspective. Now, of course, some characters have more to their mounts, but we will just get to that when we get to that. There is also tackles from the side. You can now finally manual tackle someone from the side in this game, unlike Tekken 3, and it will result in a front tackle. That's right, there's manual tackles and auto tackles. Running tackles are something everyone has, while manual tackles only some characters have. They are about the same in every conceivable way. Now, there is the ability to reversal tackles. Instead of pressing 2 quickly when you get grabbed, you wait for, I believe, about right before you land on the ground. I think it's like a 4-frame window. You press 1+2 on the defender side, and you'll reversal the tackle and lead to your own mount. Right, now back tackles. This is the first game where you can tackle someone from behind, and you can actually punch them. And yes, the tackle from behind is unbreakable. For whatever reason, tackles are programmed to be left punches, which means that if you can parry a left punch, you can parry a tackle. When you're on the defending end of a mount, there are specific ways to break throws/things. Of course, I mentioned a punch. When it comes to breaking a submission, you usually have to press 1+2, 1-1-1-1-1-1. Or if I said it wrong, it'll be in the text. So basically, you can't cover all options. And I'll put on screen a quick flowchart on how to break as many options as you can against the general cast, as breaking punches against a character with no submissions is basically a 50-50, and breaking a submission-based character like King or Jin is a bit different. Now do note, when it comes to breaking punches, you can only break the first punch and the fourth punch, as the first punch will guarantee the second and third punch, and the fourth punch will guarantee the fifth punch. Now that does mean because the first punch guarantees the next 2 hits, you can break the submissions at all times, because the submissions can only happen on the first hit or the fourth hit. Paul has a unique parry from tackle position, well, when he's being tackled. All you have to do is press 1-1-2 while down, and he will parry an opposing mount right punch and turn it into an arm bar, and this will still block left punches. So basically, Paul has very good defense on mount. Instead of the normal mount position flowchart, this is his general flowchart. It is a bit fast, you have to press these inputs pretty fast, but I believe this is how you would generally break all the options off a tackle. I don't think it's perfect, but hey, it's there, just so you know. Crouch throws. Same thing as last game, you can only grab crouching opponents, that's all they work on. And for the record, you still can't grab people from the sides or behind with a crouch throw. And just for the record again, because I actually forgot to mention this in my previous guides, there is no distinguishment between crouch throws. All crouch throws, regardless of their break, have no way to tell them apart, so it's technically just a guess. Ground throws. These throws will only work on opponents who are laying on the ground. It works on any main ground position, which I'll have highlighted in text. And just like crouch throws, there is no way to distinguish ground throws from each other. You just have to take a guess. Chain grabs. Okay, chain grabs are a bit harder to explain. Basically, you grab someone with a starter, and then the attacker must input a sequence of buttons within the animation of your throw to get the next throw in the sequence. Now, chain grabs have a very strict break window in this game. I believe it's doable, you just mash it. I've heard it be 2 frames, but I'm not entirely sure. But as a defender, mash whatever break you think they're gonna do. Usually, chain throws have a 1 break, a 2 break, and a 1+2 break follow-up from the starter. Not always, though. Now, to somewhat compensate for their crazy damage, if you actually break a chain throw follow-up after the starter, many of them will deal damage to the attacker. And I will have his damage highlighted, probably in red, on the top right of the display. Now hit grabs. There are 2 types of hit grabs we'll mainly be covering. Blockable kinds and unblockables. Main reason I'm only covering a few hit grabs just because they either look cool or they actually lead to throws, like throws built into strings or throws built into the attack. You get what I mean when I say it. Unblockable hit grabs are something I added somewhat recently because unblockable hit grabs sort of act like throws because they're unblockable and that's pretty much it, and they lead to a grab. That does not mean they're unparryable, though. And technically speaking, this will only make sense later. I believe this game quite literally only has 1 air throw. I'm using quotation marks because it's not an air throw. It's a hit grab that only really works in the air. There's a juggle into it. But it was just it was somewhat interesting enough to count it anyways. So it'll make sense later. You'll get it. Stances. In previous videos, I didn't really cover how stances really worked, so I'm going to give a quick breakdown on the types of stances we'll mainly be talking about, and I'll use these as a catch-all term when I get to characters and explaining how they work. Crouch dashes is done with forward, neutral, down, down, forward. These crouch dashes do not allow you to do throws in them unless there's a throw built into the input itself, built into the crouch dash. Otherwise, you must cancel the crouch dash with forward or back, or down back, or just any type of way to cancel the crouch dash to get your access to your throws again. Roll dashes. These are done with down, down, forward, forward, often known as a quarter circle forward. These are similar to a crouch dash, but are more awkward to cancel in this game. And typically, you do not get your throws during a roll dash either. You must cancel the roll dash. This is unless, of course, a throw is built into a roll dash. This is not the same with sway, though. Sway is down, down, back, back, aka a quarter circle back. And these sometimes do let you do throws in them, sometimes they don't. Usually some characters with a sway do have a throw built into them. But similar-ish rules to a roll dash or crouch dash, you must cancel them sometimes. It's a bit character dependent, so we'll cover them character by character. Then there is bad crouch dashes. These are crouch dashes that can't be cancelled. These crouch dashes usually do not let you do any throws in them, and sometimes don't even let you do any inputs during them, except for the designated move within that bad crouch dash. Like a chain grab starter, for example. As for stances, just general stances, like stances that you can stay in for a prolonged period of time, like, Hwoarang's motion switches. These ones just have their own independent rules depending on character. After every character, I will have an extra chapter on them, basically showing what type of stances do they got and how do their throws within stances work, because some characters' stances allow them to do their basic throws in anyways, and some of them you must cancel them, and some of them have unique grabs in their stances, so I'll just cover them as I go. Buffering is the act of pressing a button before you're actually actionable again, to do the to basically have the game do the action on the first possible frame that you're actionable. This is easier with an example. Say I do 1-2 or just a jab string, and then I need to do a giant swing, the only bufferable throw in the game, I believe. Then I would press 1-2 and then input the whole giant swing input during the end frames of the second punch's animation. And if I do it correctly, King will do a giant swing the first frame he is physically capable of doing it. I don't have to actually manually time that all the way. This is important for free follow-ups because many throws in this game give you free follow-ups. But some of them are very awkward to do because of the kind of crappy buffer system in this game. It's a bit jank. So I'll show the main follow-up that you should be doing on a lot of these throws. But if they're a bit too hard or just really awkward or tight, just usually mash down back 3. Down back 3 is a semi-generic move where you just do this crouch kick that hits OTG off the ground. It won't usually deal that much damage, but it's way easier to just mash it than to try to buffer or really time some of these free follow-ups. To add to this, about free follow-ups, there will be a logo on the top right of the screen, a Tekken 3 logo. If it's the normal logo, as seen right now, that means that it has definitely works in Tekken 3. Now if the color is blue, that means that I am pretty sure it works in Tekken 3 because Tekken Tag 1 is basically just Tekken 3 but again. But I cannot be fully sure, and I really don't feel like testing all these throws again in Tekken 3 to make sure that they have the same follow-ups. At least for now. Alright, cool. I will only be covering free follow-ups on grabs that can be done on every single character in the game. So if it's like medium plus sized only, I'm not counting it. Or bigs only, I'm not counting it. These follow-ups can be done on any character in the game. Even though I'm not using Xiaoyu as the test dummy on them, just note that yes, these are capable of being done on every character in the game. Weight. This mechanic, well, gives characters different weight. There's 2 weight classes, I believe. Just normal weight and bigs. Big characters like Jax, Bears, and True Ogre are lifted less high in the air by some launchers. Not all launchers, though. This has no effect on throws, however, because there are throws that do launch the opponent in the air. These have 0 effect on them. So I won't be covering it much, really. Mokujin. This is the first character, and I'm not going to just have him be silent here. Mokujin, I'm going to explain. Mokujin and Tetsujin are mimic characters, and every single round they will mimic a different character. And it will be of any character except for this list. This list shows every character that Mokujin cannot copy in the PlayStation 2 version of Tekken Tag 1, and a different list will be shown for the arcade version. Because Mokujin copies every single move in a character's move list, that includes their throws. Now, I don't know if Mokujin can do every single same throws, like guaranteed follow-up, but I'm not testing all that. Just know that if a follow-up works for a normal character's throw, it probably works with Mokujin's. Similar case with Unknown. She is a mimic character who can copy a specific amount of characters, and I'll show the list of who she can't copy in each respective version of the game. But, unlike Mokujin, she doesn't switch between rounds. Well, okay, she does too, but she can switch on a win by pressing specifically R3 on your control pad. Though in every fight, including training mode, she will start with Jun Kazuma's moveset, so keep that in mind. Same with Mokujin. If a free follow-up works with a normal character's throw, then it probably works with unknowns, but I'm not going to check every single one because that's a lot of RNG to go through.
No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no ear, no nose, no mouth. No eye, no eye, no shape, no shape. No eye, no